Hello, hi everyone. So let's wait for others to enter into our meeting. So please do secure your internet connection, and I hope all of you guys are safe. So in 5 minutes, we're going to start our meeting. Please ko palihog ko sulti sa inyong mga classmates na mag-start na ang atong webinar. Nakamag-ingon pa. Ah. Ay, pwede mo na ito ma-turn off ang cam dari o. Nasa nasam dyan ko sa live.
Pag-iwo, lagi ka.
Ha?
Pag-iwo.
Hindi ko. Pila naman na naaday? 20 pa. Ay, 20 pa di. Ayaw pa'y katong na. Kamu upat.
One way, condenser ito. Okay, kalimus na rin sa bang. Para-parang ba? Kasi hindi mag-account ba? Hawa na? Screenshot lang naman? Hindi ka nang nag-iuban ito sa pasal kung mali. Parang hindi nyo naranasan.
So again guys, this webinar is recorded and your attendance is a must. Kapit na guys, 3 minutes na lang.
Kaya pa?
Pila to? Duha ka section.
5 taka po ang sa ato. 24 pa ni. So 19 pa sila. Sila mas na tanong.
Ito yung 30-30.
60.
60 na.
Kanang pastorya ano guning Andrea Bayakan.
Nasa lang yung microphone?
Kanang
Ay. Nasa lang yung microphone? Ila? Katong ingon? So ano na to? Pansin na ta. Okay.
Sagdi lamang pangataw. Kasi nitungid ko na sa bayan na to. Tapos storya sila. Sagdi lamang.
Sige na naman.
Di ta magkuwat sa mga kuwatay. Start na ta.
Start na ta. So, hi everyone, maadjong gabi ninyong tanan. So now let's start our webinar with an opening prayer to be and then to be followed by the singing of the national anthem, and lastly is the singing of the SJC hymn.
Holy Spirit,
Holy Spirit,
Divine Creator, true source of light and fountain of wisdom, pour forth your brilliance upon my dense intellect. Dissipate the darkness which covers me, that of sin and of ignorance. Grant me a penetrating mind to understand, a retentive memory, method and ease in learning, the lucidity to comprehend, and abundant grace in expressing myself. Guide the beginning of my work, direct its progress, and bring it to successful completion. This I ask through Jesus Christ, true God and true man, living and reigning with you and the Father forever and ever. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Dense intellect. Method and beginning of my
Again, good evening everyone. So I am your host this evening. So on behalf of my co-speakers, I welcome all of you of our webinar. So before we start this webinar, I am encouraging you guys to avoid any vulgar words and please to respect each other. So magrespeto ay tangari kitang tanan, and I hope all of you guys will listen carefully to our discussion. And I'm reminding all of you that this webinar we will have a quiz and attendance. So every end of the speakers naatay allow mo na mo questions para mas makaibaw mo sa atong topic. So in the end of this webinar, we will have an open forum for 30 minutes. So without further ado, I will introduce to all of you our speakers this evening. So our first speaker is Ms. Hazel Ann Vasquez. She will discuss the introduction of the periodic inventory system. And our second speaker is yours truly. I will discuss the journal entries as well as Mr. Villarin. And our third speaker is Miss Hi- Miss Elizabeth Valdez, and our last speaker is Miss Danica Hanayutina.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm the first speaker for this evening, Hazel Ann Vasquez, and this evening's topic is about Introduction to Accounting Cycle and the Periodic Inventory System. So, body number 23 is assigned to discuss the accounting cycle steps 1 to 4. So, first is the step 1. So the identification of events to be recorded. So the aim of this step 1 is to gather informations about transactions or events generally through the source document. So the first step is to identify transaction from source documents. So when we say source documents, it is the original document that contains the details of a business transactions. Like, for example, kanang everyday na sales and mga purchases sa usa ka entities. Then another is the kanang mga entities na mga partners nila. So mao na ang first. Second is indicate the accounts, either assets, liabilities, equity, income, or expenses affected by the transaction. So all accounts that is affected in the transaction should be recorded and analyzed for us to know if agkani si Jang asa na nato ibutang for the journalizing. Third is ascertain whether each account is increased or decreased by the transactions. So for us to know and analyze if the transaction should be debited or credited. So we should also know if the transaction effects is either decreased or decreased. Kay kung mag-journal ta, diba first is kanang kinahanglan kahibaw ta if unsa ning na account, then unsa ang effect sa account dito sa transactions for us to know if ato ba ning i-credit or atong i-debit. So fourth is using the rules of debit and credit, determine whether to debit or credit the account to record its increase or decrease. So like what I've said ganiha, it is important jud na kanang kahibaw ta sa whether if the accounts or ang effects sa account dito sa transaction is either increase or decrease. Kay naman jud tay mga normal balances diba sa ato ang koan. So step 2. Transactions are recorded in the journal. So its aim is to record the economic impact of the transactions on the firm in a journals. So which is a form that facilitates transfer to accounts. So ang kaning journalizing is i-further explainin nato sa mga next na speakers. So more on introduction na ning aho. So after the transactions or event has been identified and measured, it is recorded in the journal. The process of recording a transaction is called journalizing. So, journalizing is the practice of documenting a business transaction in accounting records. So, the importance of journalizing is that it is kanang one way to keep your business finances accurate and well organized, since mag kanang journal entries man ta every transactions or every at the end of the accounting period. So note that the rules of double entry system are observed in each transaction. So first is 2 or more accounts are affected by each transactions. Second, the sum of the debits for every transaction equals the sum of the credits. And third, the equality of the accounting equation is always maintained. So if mag-journalizing ta, debit and credit should always be equal. Dili pwede na mag minus o mag nay kanang less ta na usa kinahanglan mo balik jud ta of unsaon nimo na kanang equal jud si kanunay. So, third is journal entries are posted to the ledger. So, posting means transferring the amounts from the journal to the appropriate accounts in the ledger. Debits in the journal are posted as debits in the ledger and credits in the journal as credits in the ledger. So its importance is that the format of the entries requires a grouping of like transactions into the associated account. So this info is used to create trial balance. So di ba, journalizing, then ledger, then trial balance. So mo na ang flow. So it is to create trial balance, which is the basis of the income statement and the balance sheet. So the procedures in the preparation of the trial balance follow. So first is to list the accounts titles in numerical order. Second is to obtain the account balance of each account from the ledger and enter the debit balances in the debit column and credit balances in the credit column. Add the debit and credit column, then compare the totals. So, like what I've said ganiha dito sa step 2, kinahanglan jud na kanang equal jud ang debit and credit ha, usa ta mo proceed sa kanang trial balance. Kay aron inig compute nato sa trial balance nato, kanang wala na tay problema, di na ta magbalik-balik kay di ba jud pwede na dili equal ang atong kanang total or amounts nato. So, proceed na ta sa periodic inventory system. So, periodic inventory system does not continuously keep track of the value of inventory in hand and the cost of inventory sold. So, instead, it calculates these amounts only once at the end of the accounting period. So, this conceptual difference results in practical differences between the periodic and the perpetual inventory systems. So, the difference ani nila is the account use and how transactions are recorded. So, ahong nakitaan sa ato ang kanang di ba nagpa pre-registration form man mi no, so daghan yung katong naay mga unsay ilahang gustong i-question namo before mi mag webinar or di ka after mi mag webinar unsay mga questions. So daghang hingingon dito na unsa kuno ang periodic inventory system and the difference sa perpetual inventory system, which is kanang na tackle na sa mga previous reporter. So mo ni siya difference between periodic and perpetual. So the periodic inventory system uses an occasional physical count to measure the level of inventory and the cost of goods sold. So while the perpetual system keeps track of inventory balances continuously, with updates made automatically whenever a product is received or sold. So in simple terms, ang periodic inventory system is mag-record siya at the end of the accounting period, while ang perpetual system is every naay mahalin or naay mapalit, i-record yun na nila dayon sa merchandise inventory. So mo jud na ang main difference nila. Kana sila both inventory system na sila but the use is lahi. So accounts used in periodic system. So temporary accounts are purchases, purchases returns and allowances, purchases discount and transportation in. So in purchases, it is used to accumulate the value of all purchases of merchandise made during the accounting period. While the purchases returns and allowances is used to record a purchase return or allowance received from a supplier. The purchases discount, which is the kanang contra asset sa purchases, is used to record discounts received for early payment of an account. While the transportation in is used to record shipping charges paid by the buyer. So, kanang atong i-detail pa nga to ang steps. So ako aning ihatag sa atong second speaker, which is atong host si Miss Johanna Yutina. So thank you guys.
So, hi everyone. So, of course, the most important part of preparing of the statement of financial position is the preparation of the journal entries. So, ang kaning pag-prepare sa journal entries, importante ni si kay if wrong na imong analyzation and wrong na ang imong number nga na input sa imong other financial statement, then di na dyan na siya balance ang other preparation mo sa ledger and whatsoever nga imo i-prepare nga financial statement. So, again guys, under the periodic inventory system, ang inventory account is not updated. So, meaning to say, ang purchases ana nga year, all the purchases in that particular year, isordo na siya sa purchases account. So, now let's start sa atong journal entries. So, these are our problems. So, at the beginning of the current season, the ledger of Village Tennis Shop showed cash 2,500 pesos, inventory 1,700 pesos, and share capital ordinary 4,200 pesos. So, the following transactions were completed during April. So, let's start sa first question, which is, first problem. So, on April 4, the shop purchased rackets and balls from Hingis, amounted 860 pesos, terms 310, net 30. So, if ever makakita mo og sa accounting problems nga naa na gani terms, that means giutang gadyo na siya. So, hasang discuss what is the meaning of these terms. Unsa maning 3 over 10, net 30. So, ang kaning 3 over 10, 3 over 10, ang pasabot inani is within 10 days sa invoice date nga nakabudget gani ka sa imong utang, na kay 3% discount. And ang kaning net 30, 30 months ang due date ani. So ang kaning 310 kuan nakibalin siya encouragement ni sila sa buyer nga mobayad sila sa ilang bayronon within 10 days na makakuha sila 3% discount para sa sila mobayad. Ana. So on April 4, in-purchase ang shop. So, debit sila, purchases sila, so na nimutan ng purchase again sa periodic inventory system. Ang imong purchases isordo na nimo siya sa usa ka account, which is the purchases account. So, debit purchases 860 pesos and accounts payable. So, nakay accounts payable sa Hingis nga 860 pesos. So, record ko dira. And purchase rackets and balls from Hingis. Ang terms data net 30. So, under periodic inventory system, ang purchase discounts are in separate account. So, it is rather than as credit to merchandise inventory. So, the next problem, the next entry is on April 6, there's the shop paid fit on Hingis purchase 74. So kato ilang gi-purchase na rackets and ball, ang mo shoulder adto sa pamasahe is the buyer. So amounting 74 pesos. So debit ka fit in 74 pesos and cash pagawas ka o cash. So credit 74 pesos. So, under transportation cost sa FLB shipping point gani, it only means na ang mo shoulder inga na is the buyer. So, on April 8, sold merchandise to members, 900 pesos, term net 30. So, in 1 month, dapat mabayran. So, nakabaligya man sila ang merchandise, so na sila accounts receivable na 900 pesos and credit sila sales revenue. ang ilang revenue sa ilang sales. Mana si Jan 900. And on April 10, received credit from Hingis for a racket that was returned. So, ang kanas dyan ka case, nakunoy gi uli ang shop sa Hingis kay it's either guba ni si Ja or ingana na sa mga kuan ba kanang flaws. So, gibalik si Ja worth 60 pesos. So, debit, accounts payable, 60 pesos, and credit ka og purchase returns and allowances. Ang kaning purchase returns and allowances, kontra accounts ni Silja sa purchases. So, next, on April 11, purchase tennis shoes from Walker Sports for cash. So, worth 300 pesos. So, the shop purchased tennis. So, purchases, ilang ni purchase sila og tennis shoes, so worth 300 pesos. Og imbayad sila, credit, cash, 300 pesos. So, on April 13, paid hingis in full. So, ang shop, utang, di ba, on April 4, ning order sila, ning purchase sila. So, kibali, pagka April 13, may bayad na sila ni hingis og full. So, since may sud man si Ja, nabatoy term nga 3/10, nasa dya 3% discount within 10 days og mabayaran na ni Ja. So, since April 13 man, so in 9 days ra, nakabudget na si Ja. So, matong makuha ni Ja ang 3% discount. So, accounts, and this one, nga nung matinga mo nga, ang accounts payable kay 800 na laman, kay gididakan man ni siya sa 60 pesos, kay nabadya kay gibalik nga return purchases nimo. So, didakan na nimo siya og 60. And then, i-multiply na nimo siya sa imong 3% discount. So, ang kaning 24 pesos, mana siya imong purchase discount sa pag bayad nimo within 9 days sa ilang palugit nga kuan 10 days nga maka 3% ka. So, mana siya. So, on April 14, in-purchase ang shop og tennis, shirts, and shorts at Lindsay Sportswear worth 700 pesos, terms 210, net 60. So, kani siya within 2 months, money ang due date, but if within 10 days, nakabudget ang shop, so nasa 2%. So, record sa shop na sila purchases worth 700 pesos and accounts payable credit nga amounting 700 pesos. So, for the following journal entries, ang atong next speaker na ang mo discuss, which is Roland Villarin.
Okay guys, good evening. So, I will continue the journal entry part 2 of this webinar. These are the transactions that I will journalize. So, let's go over and discuss each transactions. First, on April 15, received cash refund of 90 pesos from Volker Sports for damaged merchandise that was returned. So, in this case, in this transaction, first we need to identify what accounts that are included in these transactions. First, we have cash that was received for refund. And next is the merchandise that was returned. So, next is we need to identify what is the credit and the debit in these transactions. So, cash must be increased, so it must be debit, and merchandise that was returned is to decrease it. So, in this transaction, we have the journalized cash, debit cash for 90 pesos, and purchase returns and allowances for 90 pesos. It is purchase return and allowances because the merchandise is returned to the entity. Next, on April 17, paid freight on Lindsay sportswear purchase for 25 pesos. So there are two transactions that two accounts that was included. These are the freight in and the cash of 25 pesos. So freight charges is an expense account if it is a freight in, because in this case it is considered as FOB shipping point, which is the buyer is to shoulder the shipment of the purchase. So debit freight in of 25 pesos, then credit cash for 25 pesos. So the explanation would be paid freight on Lindsay Sports purchase. So, next transaction will be on April 18. Sold merchandise to members for 1,200 pesos terms and 30. So it means that no discounts payable for 30 days. So the accounts included in this transaction would be the merchandise that was sold and the terms which is supposed which is considered as an accounts receivable. So the journal entry is debit accounts receivable for 1,200 pesos, which is to increase the accounts receivable account and recognize sales revenue or income for 1,200 pesos. This is in this transaction we consider this as income recognition principle, because income is recognized at the moment the sale takes, regardless of the payment that is to be received. So sold merchandise to members terms and 30. Next, on April 20, received 500 pesos in cash from members in settlement for their accounts. So the two accounts included in this transaction would be cash and the settlement of their accounts, which is their receivable accounts. So to increase our cash, since it was received by the entity, we must debit cash 500 pesos and credit to accounts receivable. This is to decrease our receivable accounts for 500 pesos. Receive cash from members in settlements of their accounts. Next, on April 21, paid Lindsay Sportswear in full. This is on this transaction is connected to the April 14 transactions, which is to purchase of tennis shirts and short at Lindsay Sportswear 700 pesos terms to 10 and 60. So since it was paid on April 21, so the entity has nakakuha sila sa discount nga 2% since they paid it on April 21, which is only 7 days from their purchase. So they have discounts of 2%. So to record this transaction, we have to debit accounts payable for 700 pesos and cash is 668 with discount of 14 pesos. The discount is computed as to 700 times the 2% discount, which is 14. So full payment to Lindsay Sportswear. On April 27. Granted an allowance of 25 pesos to members for tennis clothing that did not fit properly. So, this transaction, the merchandise was returned to the entity because it is not fit properly to the members. So, the true transactions that was included in this problem will be the allowance or the merchandise that was returned, and the accounts receivable should be lessened or decreased. So the journalized will be sales, returns, and allowances for 25 pesos, and to decrease our receivable accounts, we have to credit it for 25 pesos. This is to grant on allowance to members to their tennis clothing that did not fit properly. And lastly, on April 30, receive cash payments on accounts from members of 630 pesos. So the transaction that was included in this statement would be cash and the accounts receivable. So since this is the entity received the cash, so we will increase cash. So we will debit it, and to lessen our accounts receivable, we have to credit it. So the journal entry will be cash, debit cash for 630 pesos, and accounts receivable for 630 pesos. Cash received on account from members. So that would be my part for this webinar, is to discuss the second part of the journal entry. So next we will have the icebreaker for this webinar. So I will give you to our host, Miss Yutina.
So, hi everyone. So, kay baw ko nga medyo bored na mo. So, we the speaker, nag-prepare me og icebreaker para ma-enjoy po na to this webinar, no? So, nakabantay mi guys nga wala jud mo nakaabot og 30. Karon imo pa mo pag 30 karon. So please mayor sa section C and D, kindly tell your classmates na nagsugod na ang webinar. Pukawa sila basig natog pa sila or nagkaon sila, naa sila nga nag-start na ta sa atong webinar. Okay? So para sa atong icebreaker, kami your host, nag-prepare me og millions para hatagan mo na mo sa among gamay blessing. So, og maka-answer mo sa among icebreaker, we will give you 20 million worth of load. Inga na mi kadato guys. Ano. Okay, patel sa ijong classmate na panhion na sila kay naatay milyones si panghatag. So 32 na taw, effective ang pagkuan. 32 na ta. And again guys, nani si Jai attendance, and after this webinar we will give a short quiz. 10 items na ni si Jai, multiple choice. So dapat mo tan-aw jud mo para makaibaw mo sa ijong itubag. And again, this webinar is recorded. Ihatag ni namo si John Sir TJ. Okay, so mag-start na sa itong webinar. So, mo request ang ko guys na i-open ang ijong camera. Adyo naman i-open ang ijong mic kay alingugmog ta. Kindly turn on your camera. Kaya makita po ninyo. Wow! Uy, nga nung ngit-ngit man na dira, Gerald? Asa man ang uban? Kindly turn on your cam. Kay ganahan mi maka-feel pag nga na may audience camera. Ganina ra may istorya nga may nakitang tao. Hi sa mga speakers da. Hi everyone. So excited na mo answer sa atong icebreaker? Excited na mo guys? Wow, na Slimbell. Way labot si Slimbell sa atong kuan ha, pa-premyo. naa si Gov. So we acknowledge the
Okay
presence
lang.
of our governor, Mr. Limwell. Hi, wa kay labot Gov ha og si Renz Jan. Wa may labot sa among pagpremyo this night. Okay, so mag-start na ta sa atong icebreaker kay ba kung medyo kuan na ijong brain full na og sa journal entries pala man grabe na mong hibaw-an. Okay, so again, turn on your cam. Kay ganahan may makakita ninyo. So to start, our icebreaker, of course, amo mong pahibaon unsa ni. So very easy ra jud ni. This is 4 picks 1 word. Okay, so ang atong rubrics in this game is you will chat your answer sa atong chat box. Mo message siya mga to sa atong chat box kay i-check ra to si Ja. And then wait for my go signal. Main ko go o mana answer na mo pero og di mo una-una gani mo disqualified na si Ja guys. Sino na mo si Ja i-count as kuan, okay? Sabot. Again, 4 picks 1 word. Murafin, mas nalingaw ko. Again, 4 picks 1 word. So, okay, ready na ba mo? Okay, so, we will give you 30 seconds nga i-analyze ni pag-adyo para sa pag-analyze sa journal entries. Inga na yung pag-analyze sa among picture. First picture. Again, we will give you 30 seconds to answer. And then, ang inyong answer, ibutang na sa chat box. Kung ano dito, i-reply na dito. Oh. So, para mat-thrill mo guys, kuan, after na ani kuan mo pila jud ang birth sa kwarta nga among ihatag. Okay, our first picture. Timer starts now, 30 seconds. Again, kung kinsa kinaunhan mo comment ha. Okay, 30 seconds is up. Now, go! Okay, na. Nanatay winner guys, si Jericho Corrada. Congratulations, makadawat ka og bigas. 20 kilos. Okay, our next picture. Again, okay na to. Okay, maghapon 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, man itong answer guys ay si Luca Pascioli, ang father of accounting. Si Ja ang pinakapunot dulot nganong naatang array. Okay. So second picture in 3, 2, 1, go. 30 seconds. And stop. Now you can comment. Uy, wa pa. Wa pa yung naka-comment. Unsa man eh? You can guess. Bisag unsa. You can guess. Basta eksakto. So the first letter sa second word is J. The first letter sa second word is J. Huwag hapon. Ang first word ang first letter sa last word is E. Okay, nanay answer. You are right, Dennis Galvez Bongkayaw. Si Tristan June Iscamado. Si Sir actually ni guys kanang picture na gunit kung drink milk tea. 3 means Tristan, leader si Sir, and then he's a CPA. Okay. For our third picture, okay, that's it. 30 seconds. Okay, stop. Now you can comment. Okay, wow, perfect lagi kay dagang naka-answer. But atong first na naka-answer is si Mr. Gerald Lastra. So ang iyang answer is asset. Ano si guys, ang asset na atong puhuhon siya. So our fourth picture, again 30 seconds. Na okay, 30 seconds. Now you can comment. Wow, perfect. Daghang may answer. Kaya attentive lagi mo guys. Happy jud me. Okay, ang atong Oy. Okay, you are correct. CPA, haha. Ang Alea Omantod. I mean, Andrian Bayaton. The correct answer is CPA. Title. Again, si Andrian Bayaton. It's CPA, the CPA title that we all dream. Okay, for our last picture. Okay, here is it. PhD. Sama si Limbel. Oy, PhD. MBA. Okay, your 30 seconds starts now. Okay, you can comment. You can comment now. Par, wa pa'y naka-correct answer. Mo si Jam pinaka-lisod na mga kuan pasabog. Ayay, gibot nga mag-joke, oy. So, joke na to. Di mi mo account og joke. Ay, di mi magsabakin sa ni. Oh, very good. Vivian Salares, journalizing. Ato siya guys. So, ang amo ning pa-premyo is 20 pesos. I hope ma-happy mo anak kay mo na akong makaya sa karon. Okay, thank you so much kay attentive mo sa among pa-game. So, karon mo seryoso na pud ta. Okay, so our next speaker is Miss Elizabeth.
Go. Good evening again, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Valdez, and I'll be tackling about the next process sa after journalizing. We're done with journalizing. So the next process is preparation or the posting in Ledger. So to start, let us have a quick overview of what Ledger is. So when we say ledger, a ledger is a book or collection of accounts in which account transactions are recorded. So each account has an opening and a ending or closing balance. So a ledger contains summarized information form, the journals, and is recorded as debits and credits. So, wa kanang unsay gamit sa ledger? So, a ledger is used to prepare financial statements and contains a list of all the accounts referred to as the chart of accounts. So, in simple word, ang ledger is a summary. It is a summary of sa accounts na imong gi-input sa imong journal entry. So let's go with our problem. Continuation is sa kuan guys ha, sa katong journal entry nato ganiha. So the ledger account is prepared in T form. So as you can see sa ato ang kuan screen, mura siya T, di ba? It is divided into two parts. Don't be confused na sa left side it is the debit side and the right side is the credit side. So these accounts, always remember na same as kay nang himo ka sa balance sheet o sa income statement, di ba? Magsunod na ay sequence or na ay order of accounts sa imuhang kuan sa inig-input nimo. So same rin ni sa paghimo nimo sa ledger. So mag-start ta sa cash, of course sa cash. So kaning accounts and amounts na inyong nakita sa screen are these amounts came from sa atong ledger. Journalizing. Ganiha. These amounts such as the beginning balance. So we have the beginning balance. Ang kaning atong beginning balance, one is a journal entry, but naani siya sa ato ang problem, sa introduction sa atong problem. If naka-remember pa mo sa atong problem ganiha, naani siya sa intro. Sahod lamang i-repeat. So ang atong problem ganiha is, at the beginning of the current season, the ledger of Village Tennis Shop showed cash with an amount of 2,500. So mao na gikan ang ato ang beginning balance. So kaning ubang balance dire nga inyong nakita gikan na ni sa atong journal. So of course mag-start ta sa date, of course ang date. Sunod-sunod ni siya guys. Mao ni siya ato na laman ang ledger jud, there's no kuan kay nang what's the term, why daghang computation sa ledger kay all the amounts na imong i-input sa ledger sa ledger came from sa journalizing ra jud. So ang tricky ingani is sa journalizing jud na part kay imo ra mang i-input, imo ra i-summary ang imong mga account names or mga accounts sa kuan in each accounts imo rang himuan og murag table ni ja, imo rang i-summary tanan. So mao ni siya sa cash. These are all the cash amounts na nalagay na sa atong journal entry. So the next is accounts receivable. So we have these accounts again. Same process ra guys, imo rang tan-awon tanan nimong account imo ra tan-awon ang kanang tanan nimong journals, accounts receivables na amounts ngadto sa imong journals, then imo rang i-input as one sa imong ledger. So gets ninyo ang thought? So after ninyo after ninyo input ang mga amounts, inyo i-total. So mao ning sa ubos, total sa debit side o sa credit side. Then after nimo matotal ang duha, imong i-subtract. So ang answer or ang difference sa duha is ngadto nimo ang difference sa duha is ang ending balance na nimo for that certain account. So mao ni ang atong balance CF or carried forward, or means that these balances will be carried forward for the next process or for the next accounting period. Mao ni siya ang ma-input sa atong next process, which is ang trial balance. So yes, mao ni ang mga kaning gipang red. Mo ni siya ang mga difference sa So next is ang inventory. Same, wa tay makita na inventory if kahinumdum pa mo, wa tay nakitang inventory sa atong journal, sa journal entry. Kaning inventory, kaning beginning balance na 1,700 came from sa kuan, sa atong beginning sa atong problem sa statement. Mao ni ang ijang beginning balance from the previous period. So ato lang gihapon kay ang sa ledger are all the accounts man na active, all the accounts that are active sa beginning og sa atong journal entry. So same goes to other accounts such as the accounts payable. So sa atong accounts payable, as you can see, balance ang atong not really dili ni needed guys ha na balance jud ang debit o credit sa kuan sa ledger kay kuan man murag summary naman ni siya sa ato ang kuan atong journal. So dili jud necessary na balance ang atong ledger ha. So dire as we can see sa accounts payable, we have na back. Wait. Okay, dire. So sa atong accounts payable, same ra ang amount sa debit o sa credit. So we have zero balance. Zero balance ang atong kuan ma-forward, which means there's no accounts payable na atong ma-forward or ma-carry forward to the next process or to the next accounting period. So man siya guys. So next is share capital ordinary. Same process rin siya guys, imurang ipang input jud. Igor jud ta mag-input ingani. So sa sales revenue, sa sales returns and allowances, purchase returns and allowances, purchase discounts, and lastly sa atong freight in. So yes, maklaro ba? Maklaro ba ang kuan katong whole? So if maklaro ninyo guys, mao ni ang tanana from cash to freight in. Mao ni ang atong ledger account for sa base ni siya ha, base ni tanan sa atong journalizing. So the information in a ledger account is summarized into the account level totals shown in the trial balance. So ang kaning trial balance, yes, this will be reported by this will be discussed by our next speaker, but so which in turns is used to compile financial statements. So in general, ang thought ra jud sa kuan guys, ledger is mag-base ra jud ang pinaka-tricky na part jud is sa journalizing. Kay ang imong ledger, all the amounts, all the accounts na imong i-input sa imong ledger is gikan jud sa imong journal entry. So once na naakay wrong sa imong journal, of course, marong jud sa imong ledger. So yeah, mao ra jud ni thought niya guys, magsunod ra jud from journalizing to ledger. So yeah, I hope you understand. I hope you learned something. And now I will give the floor to our next speaker. She will discuss the trial balance. So thank you again.
Hi, good evening everyone. I am the last speaker for tonight and I will be discussing trial balance. So, what is trial balance? A trial balance is a report that lists the balances of all the general ledger accounts of a company at a certain point in time. The accounts reflected in a trial balance are related to all major accounting items including assets, liabilities, equity, revenues, expenses, gains, and losses. It is primarily used to identify the balance of the debts and credits entries from the transaction recorded in the general ledger at a certain point in time. In addition to error detection, the trial balance is prepared to make the necessary adjusting entries. To the general ledger, it is prepared again after the adjusting entries are posted to ensure that the total debts and credits are still balanced. It is not an official financial statement. It is usually used internally and is not distributed to people outside the company. So, what does a trial balance include? A trial balance includes a list of all general ledger account totals. Each account should include an account number, description of the account, and its final debit and credit balance. In addition, it should state the final